Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, subscribers. Thank you, viewers, and also all supporters of my channel. ISO 14001 Environmental Management System. Familiar? You're involved? Are you in the verge of identifying environmental aspects from your processes or reviewing your list of aspect impact register in your ISO 14001 version 2015's environmental aspects? A process called input output analysis is a mechanism, methodology, I would say, for the identification of environmental aspects for an environmental management system. This is what this video is about. I'm going to bring you into the input-output analysis used in identification of environmental aspects. And one activity that I will cite as an example here is the biological treatment system called aeration. There are various types of biological effluent treatment plant or system. As you know, it could be anaerobic, it could be aerobic, it could be facultative, etc. This one will concentrate on the aeration part. Before we go on, my Muslim brothers and sisters, please do not watch this video if you are already in a mosque for the Friday prayers or attending religious lessons. Thank you very much. I love you for it. I wish you Jannatul Naim. Thank you. Let's get to look into, I will bring you into looking at the position of this process in the entire implementation steps for ISO 14001 version 2015. We'll take a look where input output is and look at it from the entire summarized map. And then we'll take a look into the input output analysis example, and I will show you lastly the dashboard where we have the results of this input output displayed before us. Okay, if you're ready, let's get into the next slide. Here we are. As you can see, this is our obligations in determining or in establishing our environmental management system ISO 14001 version 2015. Now let's take a look. Where are we as far as the identification of environmental aspects is concerned? So we are here. I'm sorry, I can't afford to interpret all the other elements of these standards because it's going to be rather lengthy, and so I stick to the topic that we're going to discuss, which is pertaining to environmental aspects, which is here. So this is where the input output analysis takes place in this chronology. Okay, when we want to establish environmental management system, we need to first identify what are all the environmental aspects that is involved in our organization, in our company, in our processes, in our activity, in our services, in our product. How to do it? I'm going to show you the input-output analysis. Why is environmental aspect that important? Because environmental management system ISO 14001 version 2015 states that the EMS is managing environmental aspect. How? Fulfilling compliance obligation and addressing risk and opportunities. So therefore, it is about managing environmental aspects. Thereby, we have to identify all the environmental aspects from our operation. So here we are. After we have done the identification, we got to evaluate all our environmental aspects, because I think you know by now, if you have the experience, some of the environmental aspects is beyond control. Some are well within our apprehension. Look, we got to evaluate to determine what are these significant environmental aspects that we have to manage. And at the same time, we look into, since we are doing the input-output analysis, it's an opportunity for us to identify what are its associated risk and opportunity in managing these aspects from their respective sources or processes or unit processes. Therefore, once this is done, initially I call this initial environmental review. Remember, some of you have got this experience, consultants, trainers, you know better. Okay, please, all other companies who wants to go for ISO 14001, even though you have seen this video, please consult your respective consultants and trainer. Get their guidance to, totally to this. Now, once we have got all our environmental aspects well laid out and listed in according to prioritized manner, we will develop what is called environmental aspects impact register. Okay, once the environmental aspects are all listed down and evaluated, of course, we have got a format for that. And this is what I refer to as, remember, the dashboard. This is the one. So we have got activities, environmental aspects, environmental impact, evaluation criteria, all in front of us at this point. And I will add in risk and opportunities and also environmental performance in the dashboard, which I will show you shortly. Once this is done, now as a company, as an entity going for the ISO 14001 certification, you know now what you're dealing with. Remember, environmental aspects is environmental management system is about managing environmental aspects. Here you are. By fulfilling compliance obligation, is all there in the dashboard, and addressing risk and opportunity. That's it. You are now having all what is needed for the environmental management system to be launched in this dashboard. Therefore, only after this you will develop your environmental policy so that you will get it right. And then the company, of course, the top management is accountable for all this, set objectives and targets. You can still use the old term objectives, targets, and also environmental management program, because that is reflecting the intended outcome of your environmental management system. Okay, and then once that is laid, this is very important: who, do what, when, and how much. Even finance is included in the new version 2015 standards, and all this has got to tally or consistent with your intended outcome. And the ISO 14001 version 2015 reiterated, I would say that, or display or state that quite stern, okay, that our intended outcome must include enhancement, betterment of our environmental performance. Okay, it is continual improvement, remember, so it has got to improve from time to time. How to gauge the improvement? Performance. So that's why I have environmental performance in my dashboard. And we got to ensure we are able to fulfill. This word is huge, it's holistic, fulfill, addressing, attending, commitment, displaying commitment, and able working towards compliance. These are all fulfillment, okay, inclusive. Now, and the intended outcome must include achievement of environmental objectives. Okay, so this intended outcome is not what they call a kind of element or sub-element. It is something that the company must display, must be able to arrive to those intended outcomes. So it's not just on paper. Now let's take a look at the input-output analysis. This is an example taken from one of the biological industrial effluent treatment plant. Specifically, this is a palm oil mill effluent. Now, one of the there's an array of different types of biological treatment schemes. I just take one example, which is aeration. If you are involved in this biological treatment plant, you know what I'm talking about. But that's not the issue here. What I want to show you is how input output analysis is being done. Looking at this process, we have got to list out what comes into the process as input, what comes into the aeration is input, what comes out of the aeration or the result of the aeration as output. Now, look at, just give you a simple example, all right? Look at this. One of the environmental aspects. This is seldom well put in this way, but I just want to do it. I just want to open our mind. I'm just trying to do, well, trying to show I'm smart, which I'm not, okay? Now, you are full-time in the biological system, you know better than I do, but just giving an example, the meaning of input, output, all right? Now, let's take a look at inputs. Since it is an input aspect, what? Effluent with biological oxygen demand, that's a BOD. Highly organic. 400 milligram per liter, for instance. Is it in environmental aspects? Yes. Why? It interacts with the environment. How do you know that? Well, we got to look at the upstream of its life cycle perspective. Where does these organics in the BOD comes from? They come from the effluent discharge from the factory, from the hydrocyclone, from the autoclave. Where does it come from? From processing of palm oil fruits. Where does it come from? Palm oil crops. So, palm oil crops are replantable. Therefore, the environmental impact is, in short, resource conservation, because we are able to replant what they call palm oil trees, but I have excluded the matters like nutrients, excess nutrients, or groundwater pollution. Now, I leave that for the experts to go further, for you to go further if you're involved in this. All right, now, what's the output? There you are. After treatment, the BOD, so-called biological oxygen demand, reduces from 400 to 50 milligram per liter. So what is its impact to the environment? We got to look at how it interacts, where it interacts downstream of its life cycle, meaning what happens next. So this will be finally discharged from this treatment plant into the watercourse, into the river, into the ditches, for example. So it will definitely cause some form of water pollution because there are still BOD there. There are still nutrients there, nitrates, phosphates, okay? And there are still other organics, but the quality of effluent discharged has met with the stipulated regulated discharge limit. Despite that, it is still what you call continuously adding some BOD, even though it looks clean, BOD into the water body that receives it, like rivers and etc. And that would cause pollution because it contains nutrient. It may be able to, depending on the flow of the river, if the river is very slow or the hydraulic retention time is high, then it might cause, probably in past records, a kind of algal bloom because there's a lot of nutrients. Now, I leave that to biologists, microbiologists, all of you experts. My purpose here is to discuss input-output analysis. The same thing on other materials like maintenance material. The aerator shaft is made of metal. It comes from mining and it comes from natural resources and it causes upstream resource depletion because more of this is needed. And the same thing goes for the old defected shaft. But for this company, it was seen that they recycle the metal, they sell to recyclers. So that is a kind of resource conservation, but I didn't mention the air pollution that has been emitted out from the recycling plant, other residues and remnants. All right, go deeper, but we cannot control that. Remember, ISO says life cycle stages that we can be controlled. So we stop there. We don't get into the recycler for this. Those that we can control. All right. So that is some good things. Of course, the organic compounds. All right, you can discuss this with your respective consultants. Okay. Now, what I want to show you, you can check all this. Water will cause some imbalance of the hydrological load of the river. Biological sludge can be turned into compost. Okay, and nitrates and phosphates coming out can cause eutrophication. All right, carbon dioxide. What do you call this? Hydrogen sulfide and nitrogen can cause air pollution. It is emitted out from the system. Biologists, microbiologists, biochemists, help out. Okay, you are the experts. Now, let's take a look at the dashboard. This is what I want to show you. So, look, you have here before you everything that is needed for your environmental management system. I call it dashboard. All right. Our vehicles need dashboard because we want to know the performance. We want to know the engine condition. The same thing with the environmental management system. We need to have some form of dashboard indicator telling us what's going on. Is our management system going? Is it okay? Is it good? Or can we improve? Or is it getting worse? What should we do? All this. So this is what I display before you, the dashboard. This is the activity. What are the aspects from this input-output analysis? Of course, I just give you a few examples because it's going to be lengthy. So this is the most important thing. Examples of for you to consult with your respective consultants and trainers and your EMR to improve what you already have. It could be better than this. Good. Now, what is the probable environmental impact? Remember, this is, okay, related to input-output analysis. So by looking at this, you know whether this environmental aspect is input or output. And you've got all the criteria and rating. These are all the different types of rating criteria. And most importantly, I want to show you this. Risk and opportunities has got to be stated. All right. In order to facilitate your management, your surveillance of your environmental management system, and also do not forget this environmental performance. We can have it in this board. So we have got management performance index, we have got operational performance index, we have got environmental conditions index. What else? This is a dashboard. You should have it and try to make it better than this. Use softwares or apps. I'm not sure whether I say the right thing. Can old man, all right? So I believe this is what we can share for the moment. I thank you for your attention. YouTube, thank you very much. Subscribers, viewers, I wish you in Bahasa Melayu semoga dikurniakan kesenangan, keselamatan, kesejahteraan, kebahagiaan dan kejayaan kehidupan di dunia dan di akhirat. I wish everybody, whoever you are, wherever you are in this planet, until we meet in the next video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.